John Davis, absolutely one of the best.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
Mr. John Davis. John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
This guy John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis, and it's good to see you, John. How are you?
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime. Are we live?
Hello. Yeah, we're live now.
That's not how you did the introduction.
You threw me a curveball right before we came on.
I said hello, everyone. That's what I said.
Hi, everybody. How y'all doing? You're going to have to turn around and belt it out, Mama. Don't be turning the volume up over there. We'll be all crazy. How is everybody? Can y'all hear us? Mic check. Are we micing? I feel like I'm micing. Am I micing, y'all?
What's micing? You can hear us.
I can't hear you, and I'm sitting beside you.
You got the volume on? Oh, there. Are you just saying?
There they go. Everybody's saying in the chat, we can't hear Brandy. We can't hear Brandy.
No,
Told you. You weren't talking loud enough.
I'll talk louder.
Hi, everybody. We've got a good story today.
Yes, we do.
Even though we were told stay away from it.
Yeah, it's not in our backyard. Y'all need to go.
It ain't in our backyard. Apparently, it's not in our backyard. From what we've heard.
If we had to have a case in our backyard, we wouldn't be doing any cases.
Yeah, ain't shit going on in our backyard. I got to get in somebody else's. What do? You know? Or I could just pull the old invent some shit like some people do.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. We don't do that, though.
We don't do that over here at JDT Sizzle. We go out, we find stuff that we find interesting. Actually, this is more like of a, I don't know, I would call it a recommendation, if you will. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brought it up to us. I went to look into it. I mentioned it. Then the next thing you know, getting warnings.
Some haters.
Getting some hate for it. Stay away from it, John. It's danger. You go over there. That's what they said. We were not deterred.
No, we weren't.
So.
We're like, what are you hiding?
What's going on over here? When you tell me not to look somewhere, then my interest is really piqued.
Yeah, really.
But for those that aren't quite as versed in what we're talking about as I am, I'm gonna give everybody a brief summary. We're just gonna start out there just to get everybody into what's going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Feel me? We're gonna go. Man, my computer is acting slow this evening, ain't it?
That's okay.
Kelly Sue was last seen September 30th, 2008, leaving her job as a shift supervisor at an Amsterdam Rite Aid around 9:45 p.m. She was driving a 10-year-old Saturn sedan. 3 hours later, police found the car engulfed in flames a few blocks from her Johnstown home with no sign of Kelly Sue. What's wrong?
Give me access to everything. Sorry, guys. I was trying to get into where I can do comments and stuff. He had
What did it send it to?
Your email. I did that. I'm sorry. He'll finish in just a minute.
I don't even see a number.
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, y'all. Brandy screwed me up. Kelly Sue was last seen September 30th, 2008, leaving her job as a shift supervisor in Amsterdam Rite Aid around 9:45 p.m. She was driving a 10-year-old Saturn sedan. 3 hours later, police found the car engulfed in flames a few blocks from her Johnstown home No sign of Kelly Sue. So she was almost home, y'all. Very, very close. A few blocks ain't super close, but she was pretty close to home.
Yeah.
Where her car was found.
Just doing the usual thing, going to work, making money, you know.
And it's the car thing in itself is kind of wild, the story behind it, right? Because you would think when somebody goes missing that their car's, found burnt to a crisp, it's got something to do with the fact that they're missing.
Right.
You would think, right?
Yeah, that's what I would think.
That's what I would think. Well, guess what? Throw on the brakes. Hit the brakes. Why is that, you ask? The car, the family reports, had an overheating issue. Okay? They said it would overheat. Kelly was all the time having to pull over, put some water in the car because of this overheating issue. You following me? Okay. So the cops actually got the exact model, Saturn, 2008. Or I think it was a 98. Let me get back. Hold on. Let me double check myself before I get something wrong here. I don't want to get, So having a 10-year-old Saturn. This was so it'd been a 98 Saturn, right? Said it had an overheating issue. Okay. They said they did two of them. They did one of them with somebody intentionally setting a fire, tried it that way. They did another one with making the overheating issue the cause of the fire. And they seem to think the fire is not related to her disappearance. It was a result of the overheating issue. Okay.
That makes you think, huh?
Well,
That's kind
yeah.
of weird, definitely.
And you know what that makes me think is, if that's the case, it was more of a crime of opportunity than a crime that was planned. The reason for her being in the spot was the car was breaking down.
Right.
It overheated, caught fire. And then somebody, the wrong person might have come by to help her. And there you go. And I've went to every source I can on this. The cops seem to really lean toward that, and I've heard people really close to her say the same thing.
What do you think? You think that's probably what
I just think that it is the strangest coincidence, because I've had a ton of cars overheat. That an overheating would cause the car to burn to nothing, and it would just be a coincidence that she's never seen again the same night those two things happen.
Yeah, that's, the percentage on that is probably really, really
just seems astronomical. But I'm not a police officer. I wasn't there, didn't investigate the case, didn't do the test. So I'm going to have to kind of go with it,
What do you guys think? I wonder what y'all think. Any of y'all know a lot about the case?
But that's the gist of it, okay? So I'm prepared for this. This is the right age she worked at, right? She was the shift supervisor, and that's where she left from. And here's a little map of where that is. The red pin, you see, that's where she worked at. That was in Amsterdam. Where she lived at was in Johnstown. Like I said, she was found a few blocks from home. Very close, but
Right.
So close. That's the weird thing too, and there's a lot of speculation out there on this too that we're going to get to. but it's really. Please don't. What are you doing
I
now?
need the email again. I'm trying not to bug you. Sorry, I'm having issues. I'm trying to get on YouTube. Yeah, I can. Yeah, YouTube under Jonathan's name so I can chat.
You're gonna get us shut out if you keep messing it up. Now. You're killing me over here. Trying to go. I'm trying to live stream a complicated case,
Okay.
and Brandy's working on other stuff.
I'm trying to do something, y'all.
Working against me.
No, I'm not.
But anyway, she was really close to her home. They seem to think that the fire's not involved in her disappearance. I don't know. That happened. Anyway, that's the last that was ever seen of Kelly Sue was, by her coworkers.
Right.
Now, she hasn't been seen since. This was in 2008. And there are a lot of theories about this. Well, let's start with, I'll give you the basic lowdown. Kelly Sue was married. She had an 8-year-old daughter, and she lived with her husband's parents. They all lived together, right? Because everybody's going to ask, first thing right off the bat, anytime somebody goes missing, what's the first thing you ask, Brandy? Who's the most likely person to be responsible?
Whoever you're in a relationship with, probably, or somebody in your family they're close to.
Person that's closest to you in your life is most likely the one that's going to get you. So whoever's sitting beside you at the house right now on the couch, believe it or not,
this is most likely to hurt you or do something to you.
Yep. Well, that makes me look at you in a whole nother light right now.
Happens to a lot of people, I think.
Odds are something happens to me, y'all.
No, it's not me.
I mean, if we stick with odds, kind of, yeah, probably is.
That's what they
Don't
say.
get building the defense already, champ.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Anyway, the husband was at home asleep. Nobody contested it. So it seems like, even though we're going to get further into this, a lot of people might think the husband would have been involved. He's kind of alibied out, not 100%, because when you're asleep, because I think a lot of the people at home were asleep, right?
Right, yeah.
You can't 100% say somebody couldn't have snuck out on you, but it's a decent alibi.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
There was something though. I got a picture of the husband too. We'll flash up here. There was something about hubby that at the time law enforcement found interesting. Brandy, you got a guess? Anybody in chat want to make a guess what they found interesting about him?
Where he was? No, you said he was supposed to be at home. No, what was interesting about him?
Hubby was a volunteer fireman.
That is weird. That is crazy. I didn't know that.
Police kind of wasn't crazy about that, since there was like a car fire that destroyed any kind of evidence there could have been. Right?
Right.
Police at the time found it very interesting that happened to be his occupation. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. I know I looked into this very well, and it was brought up in a number of different things about the cops were really interested. They mention it. Like I said, the cops, it looks like to me they did a pretty good job investigating this, because I can tell you right now they burn up 2 Saturns just to do the test,
Right.
So they didn't. This does seem like it was fairly well investigated. That's the husband, like I said. His name's Jason Ackernacht.
That's what I was thinking. They did some investigating if they went into that, burn up 2 cars. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a pretty thorough test too,
Yeah.
And and like I said, going back to that, that's what they said. They thought the fire was overheating. Now, would being a volunteer fireman help him know how to make it look like that somehow? I don't know.
Or could have set it up to look like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Could it have? I don't know.
Good point. Good point.
I don't know. That's what they say. It's really interesting. And I mentioned that she had a child. Well,
that's the sad part.
That's the saddest thing about all this. There was a 8-year-old little girl whose mom didn't come home that night, and it happened right before her birthday.
Oh.
And I read somewhere that Kelly Sue had actually talked about planning her birthday party the night before she disappeared, because there's a lot of speculation out there that it was possibly a volunteer thing. There were issues in the marriage, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there had been, I think, some infidelity on each side, is the best of my understanding. It's in like I said, I've watched a lot of interviews, a lot of news, a lot of stuff like that. And to me, that just doesn't seem like that a mom that's talking about planning her 8-year-old's birthday party is somebody that's going to run off with somebody and never be seen again.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think she ran off. That's my opinion.
And I want to say, I think there's zero chance that it went down like that. Yeah. I don't think, no matter what happened, that's what happened.
Yeah, she has a little girl,
I think a mom that's planning her birthday party, 30 days out, loves her daughter, and ain't the type of mom that's going to choose anybody over her daughter and never speak to her daughter again. I don't think I don't see it,
Yeah, definitely. I don't either.
And that's what's really sad, because our little girl is not much older than that, and I can't imagine a couple of years ago, God forbid, something happened, Brandy disappeared and she never had her again. It's a horrible thing, because even Dr. Phil says that the same-sex parent is the most important person in a child's life.
But you need both to have a
Yeah.
Well, if you can have both, some scenarios you can't. You have to just do the best you can. But it's good for them to have a role model, even if they don't have both parents, of opposite sex.
Yeah, it is. And it's sad, because that's who the victim in all this is really,
Yeah, it's a daughter.
Is her. And it's so sad to know that this is been going on that long, and she's grown up her whole life, basically, from 8 till now. I think she's 23 now, and she didn't have her mom for all that, and somebody's responsible for that, and that person
running free,
running the streets, living life, and that's not right.
No, it's not.
But I guess, I've talked about her for quite a minute. I should probably get her picture up. That's the picture they had. There's a few of them. You can tell it's a little bit older, even, it's 15 years, quite a while.
Yeah.
There she is. Kelly Sue Ackernecht. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Ackernecht. That's how it looks to me.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
And that's, I think, because there's like 2 news reports I seen where it was said.
They're wondering if that he reported her missing or he just went to bed that night, the husband. Do you know?
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure.
Somebody in the chat might be able to answer.
I think I think he was in bed because they got contacted because the car fire is what happened. He had went to bed, but I don't think that it wasn't not common for that to be the case.
Yeah, because you'd be calling it and seeing where I was probably. Now, not like during the normal day. You know, I go to Walmart and stay out for hours, 3-4 hours. But if I'm at work and supposed to be home at a certain time, you'd be worried.
But mind you, you know, they
didn't have
the marriage wasn't going great.
Right.
So I don't think for him not to be worried about her really tells me anything one way or the other, honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Sometimes people just live together, you know, I don't know, before.
Well, I mean, the way I read all of it and everything I've seen, there had been, you know, infidelity in the marriage. And I think the marriage was pretty bad at the time, to be honest.
Right.
So what time did it say it was, man? I'm sorry. My mind is bad, though. I keep getting dates and times backwards.
What? That she went
missing. I got it right here in this other, on the card. Because my memory is just horrible lately, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, what time was it? Leaving her job around 9:45. She was driving a 10-year-old Saturn. 3 hours later, so 10:45, 11:45, 12:45.
So 3 hours in between.
3 hours in between, the car was found.
That's weird.
No sign of her.
So when they found the car, it was in flames because that's how they got the picture, right?
Yeah.
So where was she within those 3 hours? That's weird. You know, for a car to catch on fire like that, it probably wasn't too long, you know, for it to still be burning.
See, and like she was missing, and basically anything she would have had on her was missing too, though.
Everything, yeah.
And that was something that I didn't understand if it was super clear or not. Thank you, Versi DeRossi.
Thank you, Versi. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Thank you.
Oh, don't be daisy us tonight.
Thank you. Why? Any night's good.
Good night.
To Daisy, yeah.
Thank you, Versi. But where was I at?
Oh, it was weird how nothing she had with her was in the car. So, go ahead.
Yeah. And they said that nothing, no glasses, no pocketbook, nothing, none of her personal possessions were in the car. And that just got me to thinking that's strange.
Yeah, that is strange. Maybe she left to get help, or maybe it was the car and somebody bad picked her up, you know.
Makes me think whatever happened to her didn't happen to her in the car.
Right.
Makes me think she was out of the car. I would have thought her purse would have been left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was kind of like, because they described this car fire as so severe, I was kind of like, well, is there a chance maybe some of these things could have been in the car and just burnt that bad? I don't know.
Right.
But they're saying like nothing was found, no purse, no glasses, none of her stuff, anything was found in the car. So it makes me think whatever happened to her didn't happen to her in the car. And, you know, if you go with what the police are saying, the overheating is the cause of the fire, that she had broken down and somebody had given her a ride, which makes me think that makes it not planned.
Yeah, it makes more sense because that's probably why she got all of her stuff out of the car. If the car was acting up and getting hot and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It'd been nice if she had an actual cell phone. It was back in 2008. I don't know how popular they were back then. I can't remember.
Well, it seems to me like
They're pretty popular because I
yeah.
had one. I know, but
No, I never could find anything about cell phone records. There's somebody in the chat that said I think they knew it pretty well. Cheshire Cat, do you know if she had a cell phone? Are we having troublemakers?
I don't think so.
They joking. But
she was a mechanic's daughter. I didn't know that. Oh, yes, she did. She did have a cell phone. Huh. I wonder if they try to trace it. She had a flip phone, prepaid.
Verizon.
So you think they would?
And it was never found, right? I want to see if I accident. Let me look at something.
Yeah, I was looking back. I think we missed something. Oh no.
But her case was big. There is her card. You know how like when they have cold cases, they have a deck of cards and they pass them out at the prisons. There's her Ace of Hearts. Kelly Sue Ackernack, white female, date of birth 12/16/72. Kelly Sue was last seen at age 35, September 30th, 2008, leaving her job. I think it's the same thing as my summary. Found her abandoned Saturn in an area called Frog Hollow. That was
probably out where there's not a lot around, I bet. Just from the name. Holler.
Now see, Frog Hollow seems to be where somebody made an Andrew connection somehow, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. I want to finish laying it out first, but that's about the case. You know what I'm saying? They really, where's my notes at? I had. Did you see my name?
Harley's laying on it.
Harley laying on my notes. What's up with that, girl? Whenever they did the car fire reenactment, like I said, cops seem to think that was the reason of the car fire. So then you got to think the car broke down was the reason she stopped, right? Jason was at home. He's kind of got a pretty good alibi, as much as you can have. You know what I'm saying? The cops, if I had to say, by interpreting the statements they made and all that, I would have to say the cops seem to be about like they don't think he physically did anything.
Right.
But they will not go as far as to say he doesn't know anything.
And he might have us all fooled, who knows, but I kind of,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? You can't. I'm always iffy when they're not willing to go that full stretch, And you got to remember too, even though they're not saying he's innocent, they did mention they found it interesting about him being the volunteer fireman too. So
right.
Could he be a bigger suspect than they're letting on? I don't know. There's kind of a side note to this that makes you wonder, because it turns out, I don't want to get too much into this, but he's estranged from his daughter.
Right.
And has been for quite a while. And
you would think missing the other parent, you'd be closer to your daughter, So
that's just like a side note, you know what I'm saying? But that's basically
the case.
The case in a nutshell is the police, like I said, they won't clear him but they're not naming him as a suspect either. But I think I don't think the police actually know.
They're
To be
at
honest,
a hard spot. They probably done everything they could do, test the car out and stuff.
but yeah.
Can't figure it out.
Um,
And it sucks. It's a cold case almost. Would you call it that? Or?
I don't know if I would call it yeah. Well, I mean, 15 years, I'd have to think it's pretty cold. But we don't know. The cops could be right there and are just holding stuff close to their vest, hoping they can find her.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think that happens a lot because, you only get one chance at a prosecution.
Yeah. And they probably looked into her just running off. Well, I don't think that's a possibility. That's my opinion. But I could be wrong. But do you believe she ran off?
I don't think she ran off.
I
really don't. I really don't. And I would never guess different because I wouldn't want to put that out there, for that little girl. Because she's 23 and the poor thing, I feel for her. And I'd love to see, something happen in her case that solved it. One interesting thing is it was brought up that this cat was in the area. It's just his timeline. I've noticed people have a really hard time nailing him down.
Who is that?
You know who that is? That's Israel Keys.
Oh yeah, sicko.
Real bad dude. Serial killer. He is also listed as one of the possibilities, right? And where this case is kind of one of the reasons. If you think about it, it's a possibility with its close vicinity. You got to think of this now. You see what's right above Johnstown? Gloversville.
Where did he do his murders?
Well, they were. I'm talking about a possibility of somebody else that is in Gloversville. And I think he was wanting everybody to think he had something to do with it to get him some publicity.
I'm not sure.
We all know.
They like to take credit for their crimes. Is that what you're going to say?
No.
Oh.
I don't. I think Israel Keys is a long shot. Because Israel Keys was like a planner and stuff. It seems really odd that he would have run into her the night her car overheated and caught on fire or broke down.
How did his name get mixed up?
Just because he was known to have been in the area. Not at that time, just in that vicinity. And that's what he did. He went across the country killing folks.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm not much on the Israel Keys theory. I just think it seems like it would have to be such a long shot that, she's broke down and poof, there's Israel Keys, He would go ahead of time and bury shit in the woods. Kill kits is what he called them. Put them there with weapons and random stuff in them. They say he has them all over the country. You could be out walking in the woods one day and trip on something. It'd be a bucket of handle from one of Israel Keys' kill kits,
That's what he says. I don't know if it's true, but
no, that's true.
Well,
you think he
the
made
ones
it
that
up?
he found, but I'm just saying. Sometimes they exaggerating the truth. I'm sure he did that, but he might be, I don't know, taking more credit than what he actually did.
Yeah, I didn't say I thought it was Israel Keys. I was just putting out what was out there. Telling what they've been saying, okay? I didn't invent Israel Keys as a suspect. I just reported. But like I said, they didn't see much on Israel Keys either. Police really, I don't know. The police didn't give me a great feeling of exactly how they were leaning. It seemed like they really was wide open to anything. That's why, I'd love for somebody that knew something to come forward and help out,
Yeah, I think they need a break in this case to solve it. I really do.
I think they need somebody to get loudmouthed at the bar or something like that. I've got all the contact information for it. Man, there we go.
Uh-oh.
Johnstown Police asks anyone with information on Kelly Sue Ackernek's disappearance to contact. There's their number, 518-736-4021. And that's right there outside old Pandrew's neighborhood, sure enough. But
it's in his backyard, he says, not ours, probably.
He, yeah. Well, no, he said for me not to be shitting in his backyard. Mm-hmm. And that is his backyard, because that's where old Drew's from.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a while back, somebody sent me an article. Let me see if I can still bring it up real quick, and I'm going to read it to you. I know I still got it. Y'all just bear with me a second.
If you're really in true crime, you wouldn't care whose backyard it would be in. Just that somebody's covering the case, getting it out there,
Yeah.
Maybe he got jealous because we're
I don't know. I really feel like he wants it to look like he's in stuff because that'll
get him
some attention. But
and I still think he put those two were like he was talking about us paying H for an interview. He kind of made it look a different way. He says it was an accident. I don't believe that. That's why I got fired up, y'all.
Well,
and he did it twice.
We watched it, and me and you aren't dumbasses. We both thought that's what he meant. Yeah. I don't care if he didn't mean it
and
or
everybody
he
else
did.
Watched it and sent us messages about it. Took it the same way, right? So it looks bad.
But here's an article somebody sent me back, and I'm going to read y'all the article, okay? I'm going to have to reword some stuff. I don't want to get no copyright or nothing. The Cobleskill Village Police are searching for a 24-year-old man who allegedly injured two officers and then fled last Monday afternoon. Evan Cole of Cobleskill assaulted a police officer. He may be staying with friends, blah, 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 yada, 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 right? Two of these cats. Officers approached the men and identified them as Andrew J. Hiltz, 23, of Cobleskill, and Mr. Cole, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Andrew's done some shady shit, and he done something in 2011. So is it not in the realm of possibility that Andrew could have had something to do with it? No, it's not.
Or knew somebody, maybe.
Or knew somebody.
Want to take focus away from the case? Because he got kind of heated.
He got awful heated about us looking into this lady's case. I still say he's just trying
to get attention.
Trying
to start stuff.
And that's how I feel. But you never know. Until you know, you never know. I wouldn't say 100% it's not, but I would say it's highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of feel like it was a case of somebody came up on her and took her.
Yeah, maybe said, I'll help you.
I'll give you a ride. And, it makes you wonder. There's a lot people you never think could do something like that, but you never know.
Yeah, there's sick people driving around when they see the opportunity and they make that decision,
Yep.
they think about it, then one day it comes, the opportunity comes to them and they take advantage of it.
Well, like I said, though, I mean, I want to say something because I feel like I'm coming off as super unprepared. I have spent probably 8 hours with somebody really close to Kelly Sue, and they don't want to be involved with none of the YouTube stuff. And I'm going to respect that. And I really hope everybody else will respect that. And I run this theory by that person. And they told me they thought there was zero chance it had him or his buddy anything to do with it. So I'm going to respect that. And I really hope everybody else will too. They don't want to be contacted, and like I said, they're not going to talk to you, so you're wasting your time. I don't blame them one bit, and I could be a slimeball grifter and show y'all a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to do that because I thought the most important thing they said concerning YouTube was they didn't want no involvement in it, and that they didn't think that Mr. Andrew had anything to do with it whatsoever.
Right.
And I'm going to respect what they think because they're going to know it a lot more than we ever could. And I really appreciate if everybody would just leave them alone. If you want to show the Kelly Sue's picture and bring awareness to it, that's fine. But please, I ask you, have some decency and do not contact the family personally. I hope everybody can respect that.
Yep. Sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm. But it's another case that it needs more attention, to figure out what happened. Everybody wants an answer. Like Summer's case, we want an answer,
Yeah. And there's ways, you can talk about the case. Like, I think I presented the case fairly well and told the story in
not how to bring any of that.
In 40 minutes, and I didn't have to tell a lie or be gossipy about it. It's interesting. It happened 15 years ago. I think it's a decent story, and these people don't want it. So they want justice for Kelly Sue, but they do not want YouTube needs to understand everybody's not like the characters y'all are used to. Some people just want to be left alone. They want justice, but they don't want all that's going to come with putting themselves out there. And I respect it, and I really pray that you'll do that for them too, because the family is broken, and they don't need the shit that comes with this.
Yeah.
And there's ways you can do it without being like that. Like I said, you can tell the story just like I told it. Try to keep it factual. There's more stuff out there too than I've been over. Let me see. I think I had a couple other things that were interesting, and they're facts, and you don't have to go messing with nobody, right?
Yep.
One thing is, the dad, Kelly Sue's husband, Jason, right? He had some issues with epilepsy, and he's had a brain surgery, I think, and some other things. Okay. Well, he a while back said some kind of like out there stuff on an interview, and he had said half her clothes were found at the Rite Aid. Now, he said that, and like the guy that interviewed him, this guy, I got his picture. I'll show it to you real quick. Here's his picture. Let me find it. This cat right here. He did the interview with Jason, and this was, like I said, this was in 2021. This guy here, he's a news anchor, but I don't know, for some reason he had a few YouTube videos. He's got him a little channel doing stuff, and he chose this as one of the things to talk about. Anyway, what I'm getting at is he did an interview with Jason, and I never could determine. The way I understand it was like he has gotten. This has happened to him after she disappeared.
Yeah.
The epilepsy and stuff like that's gotten worse. The brain damage and stuff, right? And he added in a couple of things. And that guy that I just showed you, who had done the interview, said that he was going to follow up on those with the chief of police. Because, like, one thing he said that Kelly Sue had ran off with a coworker and the deposit from the Rite Aid. And that I can find no record of any of that whatsoever, because if that was true, you'd have somebody else unaccounted for. There'd be charges for the theft.
Yeah. Law enforcement would have said something about it, I'm sure.
Law enforcement would have mentioned that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things. So, I'm guessing that's got something to do with, what's happened to him since. So, but it was wild, because that reporter guy, he had done it, and he had said that the clothes, half of her clothes were at the Rite Aid.
Right.
And the other thing, and that none of that is true. I'm 100. Let's just say I know it's 100% debunked. So I thought that was kind of crazy, though, to make the statement that she had run off and she was actually with a coworker and had stole the deposit from the Rite Aid.
Yeah, he's spreading that kind of stuff. It's not right.
No, it's not.
That makes, that's why probably people look at him, Why would you be spreading false information like that?
Well, I think it makes him look fishy that he's estranged from his daughter. That's bad. I really feel for the daughter,
right,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do too.
She lost her mom and she's estranged from her dad, but she's got a good person in her life, so she'll be okay. She's had a bad deal, but she's in good hands. She did like one interview. She's very private. I hope everybody will leave her alone. Everybody alone.
Yeah.
But the dad, though, when he come out and said that guy never did follow up on it. But I know that it doesn't seem plausible, any of it.
So this is another one that it could go many different ways. Like, there's not a clear picture of what happened to her.
Well, I think, it's definitely very low on the possibilities that she just walked off, in my mind. I don't see that. I don't think that.
Yeah, I don't either. Well, I do agree with that part.
And, police, there was a lot of investigation, like I said, on this. They went through the suspects, too, pretty well, from what I understand. We always wanted to see the Rite Aid cameras.
Yeah, that would be nice. I wonder if law enforcement got those. We don't know, I guess.
See, I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Because I think the way I understood it is, I want to say she dropped a coworker off. So there wasn't, I think from out of the store was pretty guaranteed. And with her car being found that close to the house, I'm really convinced what happened where the car was found.
Yeah, I agree.
You
think, if she had her flip phone, she would have called for help. I didn't think about that.
Well, see that they even said though it was common that she would pull over and add water to her car. Like this had been an ongoing problem, so that's probably what was going on. Is she had pulled over, let her car cool down, and add some water. And when your car overheats, I don't know if most people know this, but you really need to wait before you take the radiator cap off to add water, or if you turn it when it's super hot, it can blow up in your face and scar you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
My brother actually did that. His car was overheating. He went out to pop the radiator cap off. It splashed him in the face, and he backed out in front of traffic. And my dad grabbed him and pulled him back right before he got hit by a car.
That's dangerous. You have to be careful with that.
Yeah. He got burnt really bad from that, too. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. I think that is... to me, that seems like what's happened is she was waiting, filling up the radiator.
And somebody might have came by.
Somebody might have came by.
It might have been somebody she knows, just randomly come by and start, what I mean? It might have been somebody she didn't know.
The feeling I got was she wouldn't have voluntarily gotten in the car with a stranger. Because, 4 blocks from your home, I would hope most women would walk before they'd get in a car with a stranger for 4 blocks.
Yeah, I wouldn't nowadays, no. I wouldn't get in a car with somebody.
That's the tragic part to me, too, though, is if she was that close 4 blocks. But, you know how it is. If your car's overheating and you take it just too far, it's going to blow it up and you're not going to have no car. And I'm sure she understood that because, like I said, they had talked about they'd had this problem with the car for a while. So I'm sure this was probably routine for her to have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's the case, did it get worse that night to where she couldn't wait and maybe she had started walking? Who knows? But it all comes back to that makes you think regardless, it's not a planned event that she run into the wrong person. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How was her work from where her car was found? How far was her work? It was towns away. I don't know if I checked the distance. I just know when I was looking at it on the map, it's the next town over. It's pretty close. The town she lived in or worked in was Amsterdam, and she lived in Johnstown.
I could look it up on a map. I'm not for sure. I can look it up, maybe.
And I seen this too somewhere. It said, we are also asking the community to keep their eyes posted for Kelly Sue at the store, on the streets, etc. Her husband, Jason Ackernacht, made claims she has been seen in Gloversville, New York, at least once a year since she went missing. Now,
that happens all the time. People say they see people, and,
He's saying that, though. He's making those claims. Her husband, Jason Ackernacht, made claims. She has been seen in Gloversville, New York, at least once a year since she went missing. But see, I think, once again, those are claims that were made after he had the issues.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know police didn't, there wasn't enough to call him a suspect. I know that. And that's what the wild thing is like, though. It seems like I don't feel like the husband or the police see him as a big suspect, but then he keeps putting out stuff like that. He's kind of making himself look like more of a suspect, if anything.
Yeah, he puts out some weird stuff, that's for sure.
You know, and like that's one of them outlandish things to say, that she's been seen once a year since she went missing, one town over from where they live.
Yeah. Why's he throwing that out there?
But see, I think it's like I said, because he has the brain damage that from epilepsy and all that. How do you take that? Do you take that as a serious thing, or do you take that as an effect of, you know, his condition?
Right.
And I don't know. I know back before that happened to him, police didn't seem to think he was the suspect. Oh, God, turn it off.
Our TV come on, y'all.
By itself. Them poltergeist in here again, ain't it? You know, poltergeist is a German word meaning, oh shit, it's a ghost. Jason, he's something hard to read him. Yeah, he is. I've seen the interviews he's done and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know. I have epilepsy later in life, and I can tell you it can be very confusing. However, I wouldn't forget something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's so far off from what he was saying at the time. You know what I'm saying? That's why it makes me think it's probably an effect of that. JDTC, a ghost is Patrick Swayze visiting.
Yep. He's in The Ghost. I like that movie.
Too soon, man. What are y'all doing to me here?
What?
You know how much a Roadhouse shaped my life?
Patrick Swayze.
Yes. Thank you, Suzette Brown. Thanks for covering
Roadhouse.
this case, JDTC. You're welcome, Suzette. Thank you, honey.
Good movie, Roadhouse. Thank you, Suzette, Miss Brown.
Roadhouse was a great movie. Patrick Swayze, that was horrible. You know how he went out like he did. He seemed like he was probably a pretty good guy. I never remember hearing anything bad about him. You ever remember him being involved in any kind of shenanigans?
Like most of them are? No, I haven't heard anything about him.
Haven't either. I think he's on the up and up. I'll tell you what, though, like this case right here, it got recommended to us. You know how many of these there are? Hundreds and hundreds of stories just like this, though, man. Life is precious. You never know. 1 minute it's Thursday, and the next thing you know.
Yep. You never know. 1 minute you go to bed, and next minute you don't wake up. You never know when it's your time. Is that what you're saying? Hi,
Be the Bean. Love your work. Laughed my butt off at today's video. Thank you, John and Brandon, for covering this. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you, Tina. You guys, I showed my butt a little bit, and I shouldn't have cussed, but I was mad, okay? Sorry. Just to let y'all know, I felt bad after I did that.
Brandy, you were not at your most composed.
Yeah.
But
I was saying I was going to go to Andrew and tell him I'm sorry. John said, no, he deserved it. I said, yeah, because he kind of pissed me off.
Brandy's going to apologize. I said, have you lost your damn mind? I said, we are the only ones on YouTube that hold these people accountable for their actions. Just me and you, Brandy, against the world.
Yeah.
We're the only ones. I told Brandy, like, all that shit that, our argument with Andrew went down the morning of the day he was scamming the rest of YouTube. I told Brandy, I said, it's like Andrew is the biggest victim, pitied cashed apt receiving man on the planet right now. And we cussed him out not 6 hours earlier. Not a good look.
No. And I was like, John, just leave it alone. Let's just ignore it. And he's like, nah, I have to say something. Something triggered me while he's on.
I know. Right before I went up on Andrews, Brandy's like, just let it go. I was like, Brandy, I ain't letting it go. We shit's going to lose my mind. I can't take it. They always talking smack, getting this shit wrong on us, trying to keep us down. I ain't taking no more. I'm going on. Then I ain't on Andrews giving him shit 5 seconds, and Brandy's leaning over top of me to get closer to the speaker. And let me tell you, Drew.
Because I had listened to it, and it come across really wrong. It's like almost on purpose he did that. If y'all listen to it, it sounds like he said we tried to pay his son to do interview with us. So, and that pisses me off. We don't pay anybody to do any kind of interview. You either come to our channel for free or don't come on it, right?
That's right. Tell him. Me and Mama tore that ass up, didn't we?
Yeah.
High five right here.
We don't want you on our channel that bad, to have to pay you.
Good high five.
So maybe that's why Don hasn't been on our channel. Candace, I wouldn't even have them on if I did pay them. I wouldn't want them to come on. What?
I was trying to build a bridge.
Oh, well, maybe no. You can come on free. We're just not paying you.
Yeah, he even knew what he did was wrong. I mean, on the video we released today, he says, "You're right, that was my bad."
And then that's why I felt kind of bad.
But then later on that evening, he went and Jedi mind screwed all of YouTube, and who looked like the geniuses after that? Me and Brandy. Didn't fool us, did he, Mama?
No, John's like, I don't believe that. Let's just wait and see what happens. So
I told Brandy, I said, let's just sit back and see how this plays out.
yeah, and it doesn't look good for Andrew right now. Even his son's coming out saying that he didn't know about the interview.
Yeah, he quit last night. About 15 minutes later, he did 6 live streams in a row, took a couple 4-minute breaks in between them. Oh well. Gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. We try to keep it classy, though, y'all. We're gonna do more stories like this one, man. This was a good live, I thought, for a cold case. Brady all over me. No, nobody's gonna watch that. I was like, our people like true crime, man. Let's give them something fresh.
I didn't say that. I'm like, I don't know how many people would be interested in an old case. Everybody wants new cases, but I guess old cases need to be talked about also.
Yeah, I need to put her picture back up for a while, man. I kind of blew all that. Y'all, you better get his ass out of here, stat.
Who?
I don't hear from nobody that'll talk that way about. You know who? I'm not going to mention names. It was a wild evening, though, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, somebody did a video on it, and they were showing Daisy. And Daisy, you got to start thinking. People need to think more. That's basically my what would you call it?
What?
Moral?
Yeah.
Or no, my point. Think before you start reacting.
Yeah, reacting.
Everything is not a rush. You know what I'm saying? Like when something happens, take like 10 minutes and just think, is this a good idea?
Yeah, and we all don't do that sometimes. I know I don't. And you say stuff you shouldn't say. As a reaction, not thinking about it before you say something.
Yeah.
If you're thinking in your mind, when you're getting ready to say something, you're like, I probably really shouldn't say this, so maybe just wait. I do that too, and we still say it. And probably regret
Well,
it.
some stuff needs to be said. Like now, me and Brittany's made our peace. We've got it straightened out. I don't want nothing else to do with none of Mr. Real Life. Thank you, Burnt Dirt.
Thank you, Burnt Dirt.
And I don't even want to venture a guess about Allison. I don't know.
We don't know. The situation is awful, and I hate it for her kids.
I do too. And I'll welcome everybody to pray for the kids involved in the situation. But I'm not going to get up on a soapbox and act like, she was the greatest person on the planet and all that. But, let's be honest. Let's want the best for the kids. That's the victims and all of it.
Thank you, Burnt Dirt. Again, another membership. Thank you. Thank you.
Who got it? You ain't told me who got either one of them.
Nerdy Girl, Tanya. And then the other one was
Nerdy Girl.
Sleepy
Welcome.
Lee.
Who?
Sleepy Lee.
Sleepy Lee.
Yeah, Sleepy Lee.
Sleepy Lee, welcome. Thank you, Burnt Dirt.
Do you have a money sign down there? No.
No,
See,
I
don't let
don't.
you do that on YouTube, so I don't know.
On StreamYard?
StreamYard, yeah.
I've been telling y'all that for months, and nobody wants to hear it.
So I don't know how you do that.
I guess we'll have to try to do one from the StreamYard or from the YouTube instead of the StreamYard.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I have? I think I added a couple little things though. I was going to show. Did I show everything? Yeah, maybe I did. Talked about Israel Keys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the rumors Jason had brought up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to show this. I'd say all of you's probably already seen it now, but I didn't know it was going to be as long before I was going to be live when I got it, and I forgot it last time. Did you see the picture? Is that the mom's car? Because I remember when I seen that was before she got arrested.
That's his car.
Whose?
The boy's car.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, I don't agree with, attacking people or anything like that. But.
And they said it was done before he was arrested, so I don't know how people would know.
Oh, somebody put it on there before he was arrested?
That's what I heard, but I don't know if that's right.
Wild stuff. But that was that case where turns out the poor pregnant girl who was about ready to deliver was killed. Turns out the whole family made it a family affair. It was the mom, dad, and the son. I heard it was the mom's gun. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear that.
I know y'all know who I'm talking about, the case from Texas. I'm sure everybody's seen it.
And Matthew Guerrero.
Soto case. There you go. I thought that was wild, though. It turned out all three of them was in on it,
Well, I think the parents were stupid to clean up, help them after the fact, but the whole thing's stupid.
You think that's all it was after the fact?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Because I thought about that. I was like, if my kid comes to me and he's like, Dad, you're not going to believe what I did. I am going to say, don't tell your mother. Let's go. I wouldn't involve somebody else.
I wouldn't do it at all, probably. I'd call, you need to turn yourself in. It's not going to turn it. It's not going to be pretty, So why get anybody else involved?
Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have said that. But I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I can't put myself in that situation, but I don't know. I'm a Papa Bear at heart. I think I'd want to protect my kid, but I would want to protect you too, is what all I was saying.
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't involve you. That's why, with it being her gun, I find that so odd to me. I guess. I
don't know what he was thinking. Like, why would you do something like that? I have no idea why somebody would do something like that. It's sick.
You know what?
How you could look at a pregnant lady and do that to her, knowing she's with the child.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind of life they were living. That's not right at all.
Burned dirt member for 6 months. John and Brandy fight for those who were missing.
No, thank you, Burnt Dirt. You've been with us a long time.
Thank you, Burned Dirt.
I think Chris Davis said he stops by to see if we have closed captioning for hearing impaired. See, I don't know how that works. Do you?
I know. I tried to figure it out a long time ago. I hadn't seen him in forever. I hate that so much. They work. The closed captioning, from what I understand, will work on the replay, but I have never been able to figure out how to get it turned on for the live.
Yeah.
And I really feel guilty for that.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out too. I'm sorry.
Remember, we tried.
Yeah, for a while.
Are
you able to do it on anybody else's lives? See, I don't know. If we're not doing something right, I need to figure it out.
Time I see the word troll, I think of those dolls with the jewels in their belly and the crazy hair.
Yeah, they were big when I was a kid.
Pretty popular. I don't think CC works on a live. I tell you, I've never been able to pull it off. I've never found anybody that has ever done it, and I hate it so bad because I feel guilty, but I couldn't figure it out.
Maybe we're grateful to you watch us on a replay. I think they do work on a replay, maybe.
Yeah, they work on the replay. I know. I've seen it. There's an accessibility feature on Chromebooks and laptops that does it automatically.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Guys, we appreciate everybody coming. Like I said, I know the live's going to feel like I wasn't as prepared as I should have been, but I really wanted to respect privacy and things that, I learned I'm not going to share like I promised, and I hope everybody will let it go, because the family, the people that it matters to, do not think that old Drew has anything to do with it, and they do not want to be contacted. And I hope everybody will leave it at that. Guys, I really appreciate everybody coming, everybody viewing, subbing,
we do.
all the members. And thanks to everybody donating the memberships. We have more members than we've ever had. We're at a peak right now, ain't we?
Yeah, I hope we keep some of y'all.
We hope we keep some people. We've been trying to put out some more member stuff, but we appreciate everybody for coming, and all the rewatch gang too. And everybody hit the thumbs up. God, Brandy, you're supposed to remind me. Like at the beginning.
And subscribe if you haven't.
And subscribe, yes.
And comment.
We are knocking on 8,000.
Woohoo!
And I'd love to get there soon, y'all.
Yeah, me
Tell
too.
your friends, say, hey, you ever need some good true crime action to watch? Go sub up to JDTC. Because I think it's bullshit. Some of these clowns have more subs than me. I'm going to say it. Mm-hmm. Say it loud. It ain't right, y'all. If you ain't sub up.
Yeah. Some people, like 16,000, don't even do videos anymore live. So.
Can't even read.
I think people just forget about it and don't go back and unsub. So,
LOL, I just saw the CEOs of BS Detection Inc. Do you get it?
Mm-mm.
That's what's below her name right there. I made that. Brandon didn't even know it was there. She over giggling and shit. Had no clue what I was talking about.
That's what I do if I don't know what's going on.
See, you'll laugh at you laugh when you don't know it's shit I said. Brandy's like tells me I'm not funny all the time. Quit trying to be funny and stuff like that. But when she sees some of my work, cracks her up when she don't know she can't be laughing at me. It's wild, man.
Yeah.
They may buy them subs though. Dippy, some of them do. I ain't gonna say which ones. Some of them do. I know they do. You can tell. We appreciate every one of ours.
We do. We really do.
Thank you guys for coming. We got to get off here. I got to start running my Uber shift, picking up my son.
Take him to work. We're always. John does that part. I take him to school and stuff. He does the Uber in the evenings, taking him to work, back from work, going here, going there.
Yeah, I got to get to my Uber shift. Thanks everybody for coming. We'll see y'all pretty soon. Me and Brady's gonna start doing more lives. We've stuck to it. We've been doing them more, ain't we? Had some videos out.
Yep.
We'll see everybody real soon. Thanks to the Rewatch gang, the mods, the viewers, subs, everybody. Y'all have a good evening.
See you later.
Good night.